Common law is common sense. The question each jurist must ask himself, we are all potential jurors, is is there an injured party? There is a common law principle which states that for there to be a crime, there must first be a victim, corpus delicti. The state cannot be the injured party. In the in the substance, in the absence of a victim, there can be no crime. This is what the grand jury must discover. Okay? So, in the case of, we need to get a grand jury to find out, was there actually an injured party? Is there an injured party by us saying that we are the Israelites and we have proof? We got to get this in court, but we have no lawyers willing to stand because they're all working for the system. But what we need to do as a people, we are the victims, and these people has victimized us. They don't want us to know that because they got hell to pay based on this common law right here. It's common sense. Who are the real victims here? The people who had their identity stolen, or the people who continue to steal our identity right in our face and then take money from us that we've already earned and and say that they've been hurt? What they have to do, if we got to get them in court, and then they have to prove that we've harmed them, and they don't have a case. They don't have standing because they're not the real Jews. That's why they're trying to shut this off, right? That's why they're trying to cut this off. Okay? Next, here's something else I want to read. The declaration, two introductory paragraphs show how it is anchored in the rock of four unalienable principles necessary for freedom anywhere in the world. Okay? Did you hear that? This is anchored in rock. These principles cannot be abolished. One is rights come from God. Ain't that what we've been saying? Ain't that why God made Egypt turn Israel loose? Right? Turn us loose in Egypt. The rights come from God. They couldn't put right. They couldn't. Their consent was not to be forced on us. Second is the purpose of civil government is to secure those rights. Rights come from God. We put governments in our place to make sure people don't violate our right as they come in contact with us. Right? Third, the power of civil government is given by the consent of the governed, each of whom is fully entitled to rule. We are fully entitled to rule over our own affairs. We are free men. So how can they come and force us, take away our constitutional rights? They cease to be government when they start operating as our enemies. They cannot be our government. The rights to govern is forfeited by a tyrant to lower magistrate in order to restore the rule of law. See, so they lower their standard and their status when they become tyrants over us. Next, I want to read this here. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. They know that. That they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights God-given rights, that among these are life. We got the right to live our life. You can't put us to death. The police that put people, that shoot people, innocent people, they should be locked up. Every one of them, no excuse. They violate our constitutional rights. They violate our inalienable rights. Among these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their power from the consent of the governed. We give them the consent, and we tell them what we want and what we don't want them to do. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive in these ends, it is the rights of the people to alter or to abolish it, defund the police. Those are our rights. You know why they saying no, no, no? Because we don't know this. We haven't came together and took our nation back. Not saying put them out. We're saying we are the people of this land. We are the Israelites. We were here first, the Coppertone people. We are Israelites. We are the Indians. We are the Moors. We are all those people. Our identity was stolen, and now we know who we are. And we take our rights back. We take our God-given right. We don't want them to govern us anymore. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the rights of the people to abolish, to alter, or either abolish the government, defund them. We stop paying taxes. We can't pay you to destroy us. Abolish it. And to institute new government. We have a right to start our own government. But we got to come together in power so they can't beat us up onesies and twosies. The biggest Israelite camp out here should be doing this, should be forming this right here. But they are the biggest cowards out here. They got a 501c3 and trying to be an organization instead of being standing for the rights of the people. He know this. He was a police officer. He know this. They become destructive at this end. The rights of the people abolished and to institute new government. He know this. Laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its power in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Our biggest groups are saying they are sent by God and they are so powerful and we should follow them, and talking about how fat and ugly people are. The idiots are doing or should be doing this. They got all these people gathered together. Are they doing this? This is what I've been complaining about on Facebook. I knew it was coming to this. They know we don't know the law and they beating us up when all we have to do is walk in there in power and force them out and force them to recognize us. Next, I want to read what Thomas Jefferson said. This is it right here. Thomas Jefferson said, "The purpose of government is to enable the people of a nation to live in safety and happiness. Governments exist for the interest of the governed, the people, not for the governors." Man, come on, man, that's a conflict of interest. They shouldn't ask us. Hey, man, all they need is a paycheck. They shouldn't be making rules and regulations to set up white supremacy and keep themselves in power. They're not supposed to be in power. We are two separate nations. You can have your government and we have our government. We are governed by the laws of God, not for the governed. The taxes which will be paid for the purpose of education is not more than the thousandth part of what will be paid to kings, priests, noble, who will raise up among us if we leave the people in ignorance, right? And that's what they want to do. They know if these platforms, if we unite in these platforms, through these platforms that these stars and entertainers are putting out this information, what other information would they would can they put out to educate us on a big scale? Educate the people on the big scale would mean we'll come back and we'll take them down. We'll fire them from their jobs. That's all they've been doing. Is working for us, right? Those Jewish people that say we were made for them, no, they were made for us. They were made for us. Look in 2nd Ezra 6 and go down through there. Educate, leave the people. If we leave the people in ignorance, education and inform the whole mass of people. That's what's supposed to be happening right now. They are the only sure. You know what they said? Educating the people is the only sure reliance for the preservation of our freedom. Us being educated, our people perish for a lack of knowledge. Ain't that what the Bible said? Us being educated is the only thing that's going to ensure our freedom. That don't mean, okay, the Israelites keep these laws. How are we going to keep the laws and they forcing us not to? We got to come together as a people and enforce them by our gathering and knowing who we are, educated. We know who we are. We know what the government say. We know what freedom is. We know what God-given rights are. We know you people are tyrants. You cannot work for us anymore. We have our own government. We have our own security teams. We have our own military. Right? We're still not free because we still going to have to either fight them or watch our back, put perimeters around our areas and watch them. We're not going to be free. They still have more power than us. Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh, our power, is going to have to come back and take that power from them and put them under subjection under us. We can't do that. We don't have the military, but we can join together as a big fish and appear more ready to act against them, and that will hold them back. That will hold them off until Christ returns. We know by then those governments, God is going to deplete those governments. He's doing it right now. He's tearing them down, right? He's tearing those governments down and all over the world. Okay? They are the only reliance of preservation of our freedom. I know no safe depository of ultimate power of the society. Everybody had to do this. Nobody had a big. You see, the problem is we don't want to stand and fight, man. We don't want to stand up to nobody but each other. We rather kill each other and get our anger, release our anger by killing each other because we don't think we're worth nothing. But we are a society, man. Safe depository of the ultimate power of the society. That's us, man. But the people themselves, and if there's, no ultimate power of society but the people themselves. We the only power we got, man. We got to stand in these laws and commandments. And not only that, we got to unite and stand against, we got to do like David did and go down against Goliath and say we coming in the name of God. We've been doing that. The prophets on the street preaching the word. We are the only ultimate power we have in society. The people themselves. And if we think them not enlightened enough to exercise their control with a wholesome discretion, the remedy is not to take it from them, their control. Don't take their control from them and call them feeble-minded and the minority, right? Don't take their control from them, but to inform their discretion by education, miseducating. Remember, in the Wisdom of Solomon, they say we are against their education because they're miseducating us. This is what it's talking about of our godly rights. This is the true correction of abuse of constitutional power. They are abusing themselves because we don't know, abusing us because we don't know our constitutional rights. And enlightened citizenry is indispensable. Enlightened citizens cannot be destroyed because we will fight, and they know that we can outfight them. That's why they pick us off ones and twosies and eliminate anybody that with a big platform that will stand up and help these people to understand this. For we're indispensable for the proper function of a republic. We're not a Democrat. Roland Martin them trying to keep us as a Democratic government because they're getting paid off to do that. But them people that stormed that White House, stormed that on January the 6th, they stormed that office, those governing officials, because the South believe in the republic government. Republic mean every man govern himself according to God's laws. It don't mean we vote and 50%, 51% get what they want, the majority and of voters, and the other 49% of the people don't get nothing but whatever they crumbs they throw out for us. Okay? Republicans, self-government is not possible unless citizens are educated significantly to enable them to exercise oversight. Oversight. We have to oversight and exercise our oversight. That means watch everything. Watch them. Don't have them as our governors. Watch our governors that we put in office and our delegates that we that we send to do our business internationally and locally. Okay, it's not possible unless the citizens are educated significantly, enabling them to execute oversight. It is therefore imperative that nations see to it that a suitable education provided for all our citizens. You see what I mean? That's why they want to keep educating our kids all through the COVID and everything. They want to keep these kids coming to school because sooner or later these Israelites gonna start their own schools, and they see me and people like the Moors out here teaching this Constitution and the civics, and so they can't have us. They can't have us self-educating because they miseducating for the purpose of keeping white supremacy in power. Only when we, the people, rise up. Now they're talking about. Now this is a black man writing this. Only when we, the people, rise up to stand against tyrants in our government will we be able to return to our former status under common law. And see, we're not really under common law. We're under admiralty law and military convenient law, the military law. We're dead in the water. Martus, silver martus. We're dead in the water. Suitable education. Okay, we the people stand against the government. And only when we, the people, rise up to stand against tyrants in our government will we be able to return to our former status under common law. In order to accomplish this, all of us must first be educated in the law of the land, which is the common law. Which is the common law. It's not UCC codes, right? Because that's something they made to hold us down. This is the challenge that must be met. We will, if we are to save our republic. Now, see, this is Esau. This is really Esau, or somebody writing in behalf of Esau, them saving the republic. We're trying to save our life, and republic is self-government, really, self-government. So this is what's going on, man. This is why I say to the Israelites, we got to teach not only God's law, because the common law is God's law. We got to teach that God already set these laws up for us when we come out of captivity. When we wake up and come back to the laws and commandments of God, we're going to have to fight these people on a civil level. And that's why they beating us and doing what they doing, man. Because the Israelites have not brought everybody together. They fighting each other in their own camps, trying to fight for status over each other. Let alone trying to put all the camps together and we go together as one people. It's crazy, man. And God gonna have to take these Israelite leaders down before he can get the 1/3 on one accord, man. 2/3 gonna keep following after Esau. Before he can get us on one accord, we gotta keep these laws amongst each other. Cause they, like I said, they fighting. I was watching them. They fighting each other. This one brother was trying to teach this, and another brother, he looked like every time the brother tried to teach or say something, he run to try to correct the brother, try to bring him back under captivity again. Until we do this, man, some of y'all thinking y'all gonna make it in ain't gonna make it in. All praises to the Most High.